Welcome to Epic Court Encounters. All right, I put a video up recently with Judge Haywood with this attorney where she had to pretty much blast him for saying that he was trying to ambush the court. Well, part two has come up and he's back in court with the same defendant trying to get the bond. Okay, so let's check into it and let's watch it. Let's go.
All right. Mr. Bowie, raise your right hand for me.
Judge,
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the motion for bond. This is not Mr. Bowie, is it?
This is Mr. Bowie.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Motion to revoke bond for Mr. Anthony Jerome Bowie, 2025 CR 03122.
Judge,
It's a motion to modify the set bond, Your Honor. It was continued. The state objected for it, the hearing.
Oh, that's right. I'm
day.
sorry.
Yes, Your Honor.
Motion to modify bond. All right. You're good, Mr. Bowie. All right. So it's the defense motion. Go ahead, sir.
Judge, so Mr. Bowie is held in custody with no bond on his charge. We had some discussion about this, but initially he was denied bond by the magistrate court because they had information that he was apparently on probation at that time. However, at this time, and I believe the state will concede this point, Mr. Bowie is not on probation in any jurisdiction, so he is not a probationer. So our argument is that provision of the code does not apply to Mr. Bowie at this time, and he is entitled to a bond on his misdemeanor case. I've also, Judge, from the time that Mr. Bowie has been incarcerated, he did lose his job. And I believe that under the bond code and additional amendments to that, one of the inquiries that the court needs to make in setting a bond is the defendant's ability to pay. So Mr. Bowie is indigent at this time, and we're asking the court to set a very reasonable bond in his case. I believe that because of the charge, a UJR would not be, probably not be granted in this case, Judge, but we would ask the court to consider, because some of the new revisions to the code, Judge, but we would ask the court to consider setting a low bond so that Mr. Bowie can make it. The alleged victim in this case, his son, is currently on the call, and I would like to ask him some questions just in reference to whether he feels that Mr. Bowie being released would put him in any kind of fear, or if he's in any fear of Mr. Bowie violating his bond conditions there. But Joe, Mr. Bowie has not had an opportunity to get out on bond on this case. He does maintain his innocence. And
okay, who's the alleged victim in the case?
His son.
How old is the son?
21.
Where does he live?
With me.
Oh, not anymore.
Well, not anymore.
Who is currently in the house?
We don't have a house no more, Yana. We lost the crib.
He wants the what?
We lost our apartment right now. So he's currently living with a friend right now. He's living from friend to friend until I get back home.
And
okay,
he is on the Zoom call, just so the court's aware.
All right. So, Mr. Bowie, I don't know what happened. But I will say this, it's hard for adults to live together. And I know a lot of people are in the financial situation. Just hear me out. You're looking at me crazy, but just hear me out. I've been doing this a while. It's hard for adults to live together. And you're looking at financial situations where people are like, yeah, we're gonna stay here. My adult son is gonna live with me in the house and he's gonna help me with the bills and we're gonna be able to do this. And a lot of times that doesn't work. And so I don't want you to say anything that might jeopardize your defense. But what I say is a lot of times parents think they're doing the best that they can by either living with an adult child or having that adult child live with them in their space. But a lot of times, because you got two adults in a space, don't nobody want to follow anybody else's rules, it doesn't always work out like you think it should. And even though you think some of these family situations will blow over and they can be repaired by the time we get to this point. Y'all have already made up or whatever. But the problem is that's not how the court looks at it.
Okay.
And so sometimes you have to understand that even when y'all see it differently, all like that's just, we squashed that beef, it's water under the bridge. That's not how the courts look at it. Okay, so what I say is sometimes it's easier for y'all, if it's a financial thing, for y'all to each get roommates and not live together. But you keep looking at me crazy.
Ms. Judge, can I say something, please? I haven't got a chance to talk at all.
Go ahead.
My situation. Like my mother passed away down here. We came down here to Loganville, Georgia. My son and me is the only people we have. I never put my hands on my son. That's why my son is spoiled. He's 21 years old. I'm waiting for him to get his situation right, for him to get him a car and all that right now. I'm the breadwinner. I don't need.
But Mr. Bowie, what I'm saying to you is he's 21.
I know, Judge. Everybody tells me that. That's true.
But I'd say it to so many parents, and then when y'all get in this situation, I'm supposed to understand that you ain't do anything and he's spoiled. I get that. But no, New York, hold on, New York. I get that. But what I'm saying is, as a parent and as somebody who was raised by a single mom, for the most part, I have a stepdad who helped raise me. The point is, a lot of times we spend so much time coddling these kids and they never feel the rough side. And then when it comes time for us to discipline them, they buck up. And if you old school like me, you got one time to buck up against me and I'm gonna put my hand through your chest. Now I might go to jail, but I'm gonna put my hand through your chest.
She's definitely keeping it real.
So what I say to you is, we keep saying, well, we're helping them, but are we really? Because what we're doing is making them irresponsible. Let me ask you the question. When did you leave home? What age were you?
15.
It's always the parents who left home at 15, 16, 17. I get you know how hard it is out here on these streets, but you made it. But you're going to coddle his 21-year-old butt. And then this is the situation you in. Y'all don't have a home because you lost it. You don't have a job because you lost it. And he is talking about, let my daddy out. Well, this is a situation caused by two adults who can't live together in the same house. And when you tell me, well, see, let me talk. I understand this situation much better than you think I do, because I see it all the time. And it's always the parent who loses, because even if the child goes to jail, the parent is trying to put money on their books, pay their bond, pay for a lawyer. What I'm telling you is, I get that it might just be the two of y'all, but two grown people sometimes, especially if they know each other, have difficulty living together. While you sitting there trying to prop him up to get himself together, what is he doing? Is he in trade school? Is he in college? Is he working?
Yeah, he works at Kroger. And I was taking him to work I hear what you're saying. Like, I'm taking him to work every day. Now he has to take an Uber. He works at Kroger factory. He's doing good. He making some money, but I was taking him to work every day and making him save his money so he could buy his car. And that's why, I have another daughter too. So he got kind of a little jealous of her, me teaching her how to drive. That's how we got into this argument. And that's how we got into this fight.
I get that. But what I'm saying to you is, he's 21. He's a full-grown man.
Yes, I understand that now, Judge. From being in here with a lot of 19, 18, 21-year-old killers that I'm in here with now, I understand that now. I didn't understand that before. Like you sound from New York, I came down to Georgia, and I ain't want him to be like me. Like, my mother left us some money, to make sure he was good. He graduated from Grayson High School in Loganville. So, I couldn't afford to send him to college, so I was trying to make him get his age back. So
I get that, but even if you can't afford to send him to college, you know how I went to school? I took out loans. I worked 2 jobs in college. So it is not impossible to do. And while parents keep wanting to do everything, I had a job where as soon as I finished school, I was on the bus headed to my job. I worked that job, came home late at night, went straight back to campus. It was every single day, 7 days in a week. I was either working and in school or working or in school every single day, 7 days a week. I never had a break. So
Good.
what I'm telling you is he can do that, but you got to let him fall. A lot of times we as parents keep propping these kids up and then it's to your detriment. Now he on the call wanting everything to be all right, to tell me it's all good and I need my daddy to be out. But he doesn't understand that he needs to be out there making his life do what it do. You grown now. You don't owe him anything past the point of 18.
Judge Haywood tells it like it is, and she's giving him some sound advice.
I know
And
that.
so you driving him to work, you making sure he do this, you making sure, all we doing is making kids weak. When I was in high school, I had 2 jobs. So what I'm saying is, let's stop propping these babies up.
Okay.
Let's give them the opportunity to be responsible and do what they need to do. Because when we keep holding them up and they never feel the rough, they don't know what it's like. And then they're gonna buck up against you. No. Okay.
I understand.
So,
Judge.
I don't have a problem.
Can I say one more thing, Judge?
Yes,
What
sir.
about the 30 days they just made me do and I have the paperwork that I wasn't on probation no more.
I got you, sir. Look, we'll take all that into credit. What I'm gonna do is, knowing the nature of the situation, as long as you and your son don't have any contact with each other, I will give you what he has no bond on any of the charges.
No, Judge. Well, sorry.
Does he have a history of any kind?
He doesn't have a bond on the, I believe can you pull it up, Taz, what his bond situation? I know he doesn't have on the battery family violence.
But that's all I see.
Yeah, that's right. That's the only charge that he does have. So he's
Okay. So I'll give him a $1,000 bond on each of the charges, and he can do property. He can do cash. He can do bond company. I don't care.
okay, Judge. So you want me to draft an order to that effect? Or
Yeah, as
okay.
long as there's no contact with the son until this case is resolved.
Okay, and that's a $1,000 bond for the pending charge.
For what now?
That's a $1,000 bond per the, I believe it's one count.
Now, I'm looking at 4 counts.
Oh, I'm sorry, but so it would, they're lesser included, right, Judge? So it would be.
What?
So it's like battery family, the way we typically see battery, family violence, battery, simple battery.
Yeah, those 4.
So those would be lesser included. So you want $1,000.
Okay, so then a $2,000 bond on the battery family violence.
Okay.
And the other ones, because I don't know how you want me to count it.
Well, so Judge, my concern, obviously I want the lowest amount for my client, but what I want to make sure that what I submit is something that the sheriff's office will understand how to, because he's only held on battery family violence. I understand that the accusation has.
Well, I was talking to somebody at the jail recently about that, because I was trying to figure out how we're supposed to do it. And she was telling me that if we put the bond on the charge he's held on, then the rest of it should work out.
That's what that's
okay. Well, then revise that to be a $2,000 bond on battery family violence, and then the rest of them will work themselves out. If you have to split them, then split them among the 4. If you don't, then put it on the first one.
Okay, Judge, I'll submit an order to you as soon as we.
Okay, so whatever would give him an aggregate $2,000 bond.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Judge.
All right.
One thing about Judge Haywood, she tells it like it is. And she gave that defendant some really good advice about dealing with his son. Kids get older, you don't want to let them do certain things because you're not sure. You don't want your child to get hurt, and that's probably how he feels. But if they fighting, he got to do his own thing. So things seem to have worked out for him. But when he gets out, he's going to be with his son. Even though she's telling him, he's not going to listen to that. His son is already waiting for him to come back. So hopefully he listens to the point where he doesn't end up coming back. But they're not going to be separated. We know that. All right, so have a good day, even a night, and I'll see you around the next one.